How's it going, Laser Bruce? It's Bobby Sixkilla. Welcome back to Disco Elysium. We got a new place to check out. The curtain has been opened upstairs. Let's check it out. The witch. The curse, apparently. But the lady doesn't sound like a cursed monster. In 20 minutes we need to go to apartment 28 as well. We can't miss that. It's really important. Who are you? The tray is full of dice. Colourful polyhedral dice. Hundreds of them. The candy dispenser has been repurposed to contain thousands of dice. You're the person making the game.
Hello, I'm Nia.
A bird-like woman sits on the throne of tills, with emerald light shining through her hair.
Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Melius.
She taps on her headphones.
So what kind of die are you looking for?
She's got a direct view of the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching. Hold on, what do you mean by Milius?
Yes, a Melius is like a calling station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these.
She pats the headphones on the table.
Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking.
You must have me confused with someone else. I haven't knocked on your window.
Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here. Let's talk dice. Did you have something specific in mind?
Why are you asking me about dice?
I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
As she speaks, her bone-like fingers fiddle with a ring. Her bone's light, but her hand's strong. Role-playing games. You know the one made by Fortress Accident. Does that count? I was looking for something else. Squint your eyes mysteriously. Answers.
Answers? How strange. These days people only come to me for dice and role-playing games. I'm not sure how helpful I'll be, but go ahead and ask.
The walls around her are covered with rows of precious stones and minerals. It's almost as if the stones and dice are a natural part of the room, growing out of the shelves like stalagmites. No falsehoods are present. She's a novelty dice maker and doesn't have anything to hide. Ask what you need. What do you know about the man who was lynched behind the whirling in rags? Nothing really, I didn't know him. The lieutenant looks at his notebook. The woman under the large window. Your window looks directly into the courtyard. Are you saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening? I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window. Do you often work Sunday nights? It's an odd profession making dice for people, but I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home. You never took your eyes off the work to look out the window? I might have, she admits, but in this case all I could have seen would have been my own reflection staring back from the darkness. It's light here, but it's dark in the yard at night. It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone. This person values focus above all. She keeps a sharp sight on the instruments before her. What do you mean by the daily ruckus? Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard. She stops to try and come up with an example. During daytime there are usually those kids, and lately I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike. She's heard of the murder, but didn't see it, sire. She looks at the window. Pale light comes in. But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid. Thank you for your answers. She nods. Anything else? Where are we, anyway? What is this place? We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know. She looks at the ruddy bricks that make up the walls. Even though they've been repainted, there are still signs of coal-black soot here and there. But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus. Creative. The lieutenant looks around the spacious room, its ceiling fading into shadows above. I heard this place is cursed. Did you know people call it the doomed commercial area? I've heard the stories, she nods, as the wind howls in through the furnace shaft above. But I don't think those stories are true. Plaisance is the one who sent me. She's convinced this place is swarming with malicious energies. Plaisance, the bookshop lady? She raises her brows. I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energy spared her somehow? I don't know why the bookstore hasn't gone bankrupt yet, that's why I'm here to investigate. Alright, but it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the Whirling in Rags? Some people say it's part of the building complex. Hold on, the Whirling in Rags is part of the Doom commercial area? You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time under the East Delta Commerce Center project. You're right, the Whirling doesn't really look like it's cursed. And then there's me. She sighs, looking at her messy work table. All kinds of tools lie there scattered, from knives to carving flies to wire cutters. I've been here 14 years selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million real business idea, yet somehow I've survived, despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it? It's because she's in cahoots with the demons. Maybe it's just because she's so talented she's been able to woo the curse. Play Science thinks it's because you're the source of it, a malignant entity. Malignant entity? What does that even mean? The dice maker laughs. Some kind of sorceress? What about you, officer? Do you think I'm the malignant entity? The jig is up. The she-demon knows you've uncovered her true identity. I'm starting to see that there is no curse, only business decisions and natural market fluctuations. Exactly. She pinches the root of her nose. Truth is always so disappointingly mundane and boring. But I'm glad we got this sorted out. Anything else I can help you with today? How did you become a dice maker? How did I become... Oh crap, I gotta go. How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition. She doesn't let it show, but there's anger in there. She doesn't like the jewelers. I think they're a mob. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew up from there. Do you like role-playing games yourself? Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay, and role players as customers. They're nice people. Some of those nice people have big bucks to spend on novelty items. Alright, I'll come back. I'll come back. But I have to go see the man. Plus 20% zoom out distance. All MOT learning caps raised by 1. Holy crap. And the little guy gets smaller and smaller as you rise above the dollhouse world. You see him out of the snow, on the streets, in the shop on the corner, and finally in a matchbox house, sitting by the window. White flowers on the windowsill. You can smell them from up here. It's awful. A white morning, a modern death, divorce or something similar. All you can do is put more distance between you and him, make him smaller, make him less you. Except... these are unlocked. I can't have any more room. Interesting. Unless I unlock more. But we don't have anything more to learn anyway. We'll come back to you, lady. What's the quickest way out? This is gotta be the quickest way, right? Who knows? Number one priority is gonna be to go and see the man. On the balcony. Then we can come back, talk to Plaisance, talk more to her. Oh, we made it. With a minute to spare. I'll grab this free crap over here. While we wait for that minute. This is the door to apartment 29. Complete silence. Whoever lives here isn't home. A door to apartment 30. Voices from within, singing along to some buoyant dance track. Should we try now? It's still a minute early, but... I'll wait. I'll be good and wait. Let's talk to Kim.
Yes?
I want to talk about you. Yes, you. There you go. I didn't see how my life was pertinent to the investigation. Come on, Lieutenant, open up a little. If you insist, what do you want to know? You're wearing glasses. That's correct. That makes him a Beano-clad, completely uncop material, if you say so yourself. I'm not going to call him a Beano. Glasses are cool. Are they? They're mostly just cumbersome. Do you ever talk with yourself? What do you mean? You know, when you're thinking. Do you ever have conversations with, like, your brain? I have no idea what you're talking about. Lieutenant's conceptualization skills must be rather rudimentary. But this isn't an old school case. I get it, you're one of those old school detectives. Nod respectfully. So what, that makes you new school? God spare us. For real detective work, nothing beats a good notebook by your side. The lieutenant produces a familiar Mnemotechnique A6 and idly thumbs through a few pages. We all have our different mediums. His is written. You're super lucid, yet psychedelic. You don't need office supplies to connect your nervous systems, you're special. Tell me a secret about yourself. Lieutenant narrows a single eyebrow. No. Oh, okay. The lieutenant nods. That'll do. I just wanted to pass some time. There he is!
Gendarmerie, you found me.
The young man on the balcony gives you a bright smile, before taking another drag from his cigarette. His slender figure is backlit with by city lights, its distant streets and motorways flashing like diamonds, and his shirt is still unbuttoned. We got your hint, found the key right under that stone.
Beautiful.
He replies, smiling. As he looks at you, something sparkles in his eyes.
So tell me, are you here to make things right again?
I'm not going to make things right, I'm going to make them spectacular.
Beautiful.
He says again. A nearby street lamp casts shadows on his chin, drawing out the slender cheekbones.
I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you, and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting.
He nods towards door 28. That sounds dodgy, man. Why would I want to meet your friend? Trust me, you do. By the way, I'm really digging the view here. Point to the city skyline. That's why I chose this place. He looks away, his cigarette end glowing in the dark. Martinez is special, isn't it? Wait, suddenly you're digging things? The lieutenant whispers to you, shaking his head. Very well, I'll talk to him, but first I want to talk to you. I have so many questions. That's nice, but I don't have anything to tell you. It's my friend you're looking for, not me. He takes another drag of his unfiltered cigarette and looks around. It's getting dark, and the neighbouring windows have lit up one by one. Downstairs, a cat crawls across the yard, disappearing into the bush. Besides, I've got to run. Run where? To the city. He gestures idly toward distant motorways. It's a beautiful night. A man on high heels stumbles out of a basement club. Music blasting over the entire district. It's chilly. When the chemicals hit his nervous system, 1,000 shivers ripple through his body. Only if you promise we'll talk again. It's important. Something flutters in the corner of the lieutenant's mouth as you're saying those words. We'll talk, the smoker assures you, brushing his hand through the hair. Just not tonight. Take care, alright, he says, with another disarming smile, before slipping off into the night. Okay. And he's gone again. Looks like it's becoming a theme for him. He's always leaving. Why is he always leaving, Kim? Who knows, detective? It's a mystery, he says, turning his face away from you. There's something so different about him, I just can't put my finger on. Different, of course. There's just something so mysterious about the way he talks and moves. Something so mysterious about the way he talks. The lieutenant squints his eyes, trying to hold back laughter. Very mysterious. Very. Come on, detective, let's go. We got a potential witness interview. His Sunday friend, remember? He nods at the apartment door before you. Are we going to get lynched? I feel like we're going to get lynched. Okay, this guy's not going to lynch us. Who the hell is he? Silk robe? Fancy. An old photo of the same apartment dated year 01. Expensive men's perfume lingers in the air. A quarterly business magazine. An empty ashtray. Dishes soak up in a pot. Flyers for underground parties. Dates for open lectures at a local university. Samaran conical hat. +1 logic, -1 suggestion. An exquisite canopy bed made of metal. Buckets of paint on a layer of old newspapers.
Officers of the Reversal Citizens Militia.
The man in business casual removes his cufflinks.
My name is Charles Villedron. I am an official with the coalition government. I work for the Institute of Price Stability on assignment from Sir Leclerc. I heard you talking to my friend outside. Very good. Super. I'm here to assist you in any way possible. Ask me about the hanging.
Hanging? What a drag. Seems like a cultured gentleman. You should ask him about the finer things. The Samaran hat. We'll get to that right after you tell me the story behind this black Samaran hat.
I got it from the head of the Samuran delegation on my trip to Lomanthang. It's made from a special charcoal-colored bamboo. It's an emblem of the formal normalization of our diplomatic relations.
He's alluding to the decade-long War of Independence whilst deftly brushing aside the complex causes behind the conflict.
That's really all I can tell you about it.
He forms a little rooftop with his fingers. Cold air sweeps in from the balcony. Lieutenant takes out his notebook and nods to you to proceed. What's an official like you doing in Martinez? The coalition is only looking for the price stability. He raises an index finger. Inflation is a killer, like a heart disease, blocking the normal circulation of the economy. It must be controlled. The economy impacts the entire international community, which is why it requires international oversight. What are you doing here in this apartment? Ah, well, I'm renovating it. It's an interesting project. The building used to be a 12-story skyscraper before the cannons took the top 4 stories off. This, of course, happened when the coalition forces landed here. He smiles. You could say I'm undoing some of the material damage the international community caused when we arrived here. So you're some kind of bureaucrat. Yes, as I said before, I'm a commissioner from the Sur La Clef, working for the Institute of Price Stability. He glances at his watch. This is one of the main projects of the Moral Intern. Wait, there isn't actually an Institute of Price Stability, is there? Well, maybe there is. God, it's impossible to understand whether someone from the Moral Intern is joking or not. What is this international community? La Communauté Internationale is what Revacholians colloquially call the coalition. In other words, the nations that stopped the disaster of the revolution. And what do I call the coalition? Your employer, technically speaking. The governing authority of Revachol, the RCM, is but one part of the provisional administration. What is the price stability? It is the most important thing. Ah, that clears everything up. It is the central goal of any sound monetary policy. Maintaining the price stability is essential to maintaining high levels of economic activity, which is essential for maintaining high levels of employment, which is essential for maintaining the social stability. Basically, it makes sure the price of bread doesn't change. I assume that means precisely. Too much inflation, bread becomes too expensive. Too much deflation, it becomes too cheap for bakers to produce. That's why the institution of price stability works to keep inflation below 2%. This is fascinating, but I want to ask you something else. But not too far below, no. Too far below is bad also, but close to 2%. You're not answering my questions. The coalition believes in the importance of informing the public about the benefits of price stability. Transparency is one of our principles. Would you like an informational pamphlet? No, I'm good. A sound monetary policy is essential for addressing uncertainty. Stability is the raison d'etre of Moral Intern. It's the reason why I identify as a moralist. He pats his pockets, but oh, I don't have any leaflets on me today. That's too bad. You can always call our information line. Making information available is part of the Moral Intern's commitment to transparency. Okay, that's enough. Whatever you wish, officer. You actually witnessed the lynching. I'm sorry to say I did, officer. The man gives a solemn nod. This is just the break we've been looking for. Easy, detective. No need to jump to conclusions. He eyes the spectacled man near the window, who smiles and spread his hands. Start from the beginning, if you don't mind. Officer, it's very difficult to describe what I saw that night. It was so surreal to me, like in a play. He holds out his hands and blossoms his fingers, like a drama teacher setting the scene. The lieutenant is already scribbling down notes. What do you mean, like in a play? It was just so strange, I could barely comprehend what was happening. I was on the balcony when it happened, getting some fresh air. I remember that first they came in, carrying what looked like a body, and then I saw all the surrounding windows go dead, one by one. That's when I understood. I should not be seeing this. Sounds like the victim was unconscious, or at least incapacitated. Well done, detective. He nods to you. How many of them were there? I couldn't tell exactly. Less than 10, maybe 8? Lieutenant sends you a sharp look at the mention of the number. Were any of them huge? Like 200 kilograms huge? That's a giant you're describing. No, they were all quite human, so far as I could tell. What happened next? I went back inside. Yes, back inside, keeping yourself safe from the killing. Were you able to see anything from the inside? Officer, the yard was pitch black. There was nothing to see. But I could still hear the voices. They were threatening to kill that poor man. Were they men? Women? All men, I presume. But again, I couldn't see very clearly. What ethnicity were they? I believe they were mostly white, although I believe I saw 2 Aeropagites among them. I'm quite certain that one spoke with a Mesk accent. What happened next? Well, that's the strangest part, officer. Nothing happened. It was oddly quiet for a public lynching. What do you mean nothing happened? They lynched a guy. Eventually their shouts died down, and that was all. There were no gunshots, no celebratory shouts, no anything. Why didn't you call the RCM? The man wipes his glasses. You're right, of course. That is what one is supposed to do in such circumstances. I was simply in shock. I'm afraid I don't have anything else to add. About what time was all this happening? Approximately. Well, I can say it was late. You didn't check your watch? My watch? He looks at his watch, as though noticing it for the first time. Yes, now I remember. It was 30 minutes past midnight, give or take. So let me get this straight. You didn't actually witness the hanging itself, did you? No, I didn't see the corpse until the following day. It seems this wasn't the break you were hoping for. I think we have everything we need, the lieutenant says, closing his notebook. Thank you for talking to us, Mr. Vildruin. Oh my god, I can't say that. Of course, anything I can do to assist the RCM? You tell me about your friend? Ah, my friend. My friend is a good young man. His family immigrated here from Kedra, and life has not been easy for him, but he understands the importance of education. He's taken his future into his own hands, and that's what matters. What is Kedra? Kedra is a candidate member of EPIS. Between you and me, their potential membership is a more contentious issue. What do you mean? That it's never going to happen. They entered negotiations in 21, and it's been pending ever since. So what's this EPIS you keep talking about? EPIS is a very special program developed by the Moral Intern to support certain Occidental nations. It began as a unified system of weights and measures, which proved to be a wild success. Nothing but kilograms and centimeters as far as the eye can see. God yes, sweet standardization, the backbone of rationality and commerce. It was such a wild success that we expanded it into an economic union for the processing of steel. Another success, and between you and me, the Moral Intern feels emboldened by this success, emboldened to take EPIS to the next level. What's on the next level? A supranational political alliance, the United States of Occident. Is it going to be like this place here? You mean Revachol? No, it's going to have transparent democracy. Is Revachol going to be part of EPIS? One day it's going to be a candidate member of EPIS, sure. Except that candidate members never become full members, do they? Didn't you say candidate members never become full members? No, candidate members do become members. Why do we even have the whole system in place if they don't? It just takes time. Time and evaluation. But we are talking about my friend here, not politics, he chuckles gently. You haven't told me who he is. Sorry, who? The man throws a quick glance at his watch. Your friend, the smoker on the balcony. We're just talking about him. But I told you, officer, he's a bright young man, here to pursue his education. Education is the foundation of our future, especially the arts. It's the cornerstone of our civilization. Fine, but what's his name? Officer, you have to understand, I can't give his personal information. I'm sure you have your own methods and databases, right? Please don't put me in this situation. All you can tell me about him is that he's here to study the arts. He's deeply enmeshed in the study of fine arts, yes. Which arts? He is a truly free spirit. He likes all the arts. Perhaps graphic design, printmaking, who knows? The world is open wide for a talented youth like him. What are you doing in the apartment by yourself? Just enjoying the view, the man smiles, nodding out the window. What view? It's dark outside. Listen, he says, raising his hand. Baby is crying in the neighbouring apartment. Someone's baby's crying. No, listen, he says again, looking outside. The Insulindian Bay. What about it? This place used to be a luxury accommodation before the revolution. Apartments, of course, were much bigger then. A few walls had been added here and there, leaving some of the tenants without a private bathroom or kitchen. But the million real view stays. You can't take that away. He knocks on the balcony door, his face mirrored in the darkened glass. I was asking about your friend. My friend comes and goes. I'm sure you'll see him around. He's a busy bee. A busy bee? What an odd choice of words. Alright, that's enough. A moment, officer. Do you have everything you need from me? I'm afraid we won't have the chance to speak again once you leave. Hold on, why can't we talk later? It's against diplomatic best practices for an official in my position to be discussing murders with the local militiamen. He pauses, and I'm pressed for time. After you leave, I should be leaving as well. Okay, I guess we can talk. Sure, go ahead. It's a beautiful space. We'll run out
there
all the
anything
conversation then, I guess. What else is there? How'd you two become friends? How did any of us become friends? Bad things happening on the Incendian Isola? Oil platforms ablaze in the night? Civil wars lasting for years? Finally, the international community is forced to step in. What are you talking about? No one becomes friends that way. Au contraire. It's how millions of people end up where they are. Meeting the people they meet. It's how I came here. And my friend too. Alright, that's cool. I'm sorry I couldn't be the break you were looking for. Good luck with the investigation. Alright, see you later. We got other things to do anyway. That guy wasn't super helpful, to be fair. Not super helpful at all. Hang on. There's a bin. Let's scavenge through the bin. +1 logic, -1 authority. That's the glasses I was looking for before. I prefer visual calculus though. I think. I'm not actually sure. Hang on, there's something yellow up here. Shoes. My perception is off the charts. There's money in shoes. $5. Examine the padlock. Use the chain cutters to cut through the padlock. Should we do that while we're here? Dude, there's so much to do. There's so much to do. Put the chain cutters back on. Let's break into people's homes. 28. That's pretty bad, man. What are you doing? You're trying to cut the body of a lock with the chain cutters and it's really not working. I believe it's the shackle you mean to cut, Detective. The lieutenant points to the corroded loop with a gloved finger. Don't you think that's what I'm trying to do? Perhaps you should give it another go. 42%, that's still pretty bad. The shackle snaps like a twig and the lock falls to the floor with a little thud. Should be possible to enter now. After you, Detective. I'm a bit nervous because we've got no morale here. How do I get inside? There's nowhere to stand. A flamboyant poster of a white star. Real lithography. Bust of Kraz Mazov. A plaster cast bust depicts a middle-aged man with impressive sideburns. The name on the plinth reads Kraz Mazov. Kraz Mazov was an economist and theoretical historian. He was a leading figure on the Grad side of the turn-of-the-century revolution, where he headed the 9-day government. Mazov is considered the father of scientific communism, Mazovian thought, or Mazovianism. Why does this tenant have a bust of Kraz Mazov in their bedroom? The white star, the photos on the wall. I think we have broken into the apartment of a young communard. He looks around before mumbling to himself. How fitting. Photos of revolutionaries posing with guns. Revolutionaries loved to pose with their guns. Books of critical theory on the monstrosities of capital and such. What do we got here? 9mm bullets. And +1 oh, I'm too tired. Conceptualization. That's a jacket. It's not really as good as what I'm already using, but I'll nip it on for now. Might as well put that on, because suggestion's real bad on me anyway. Do I look good in the hat? What do you think? What do you think, Kim? You like it? Is it racially insensitive? I think it might be. But whatever. It gives me +1 something. Alright, we're actually going to wrap this episode up here because we're out of time for today, but obviously we need to go back and talk to the book lady, Plaisance. And, oh, this is the wrong door. And we're also going to need to talk to the dice lady. But we'll wrap this one up here, and I'll go and get some more drugs for my morale as well. So that, if you guys enjoyed it, thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.